We need to find this place or we'll be late.
Make a left on Astrology Avenue. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant right. It should be right here at 444 Spirit Way. Oh, turn!
It looks like Renee. Yay, we're on time.
The James and Kellee Show.
Great, let's start the show.
Hey, hi. Hi, James.
Hi, Kellee. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm fine.
Plane, right?
I got off a plane.
How was that?
Well, first of all, I hadn't flown in a while, and you're going to be flying.
I haven't flown in over 3 years, so tell me, what is that experience like, Kellee? Because I'm a little nervous about it.
I understand. You know, I've done 2 trips, I think, since all COVID is gone. It's it's tiring, James. It's tiring.
Yeah, I think so. Just thinking about it makes me tired. I mean,
right? But I'm glad I did it. I'm really glad I did it. I went to see my grandchildren, and it was just wonderful. And guess what we did?
What?
I forgot to tell you when I talked to you. I forgot to tell you. We celebrated Peaster.
Oh, great!
Do you know what Peaster is?
Celebrate Feaster?
Peaster. No,
No,
Peaster with a P.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not with it. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's Passover and Easter.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
So we did Peaster. We did the story of the Exodus, which was really interesting because the woman that told the story of the Exodus of the Jewish people having to flee their home, and they could bring one thing. And I was thinking, God, that's so Ukrainian. What's going on? It's right. And so my grandson said, when it came his turn, it said, August, what would you bring? He said, we thought, and he goes, my backpack. And I thought that was smart. And then after that, we did an Easter egg hunt, and it was just so much fun.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I forget it was like Easter and Passover coming up.
Well, it's coming up, but yeah, it's coming up. Because I was in town, they did it.
I knew that was coming up when I was in CVS yesterday, and going to the counter, and there was all this candy, and I was like, oh, goodness gracious, and I had to buy some. Oh, that's right. It's Easter time. Well, I bet us have some M&Ms.
There you go.
But
that's
it's Halloween or Easter time or Christmas time or Hanukkah or
so true. Oh my gosh! And
so
how was your weekend?
You went to Dallas, right?
I was in Dallas. I was in Fort Worth, and I was in Dallas, and it was
How's
great.
The weather, Kellee? How's the weather?
Oh my God, it was so great. Let's just talk for a second. It was like 75, 76. It was incredible, and then it was almost 80. It was so great.
Someone's asking about the clothing. No, we don't talk to each other before the show about our clothing. We don't. I swear.
No, I swear to God, we don't.
We don't. It's just kind of weird how we just.
And we talk during the day, and we still don't go there about clothes.
Still don't go there. It's pretty funny.
Oh, in fact, I got this necklace with you in Maui.
Oh, that's right.
I did.
Is that's that restaurant we remember the restaurant?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
the restaurant was such a great restaurant too.
It was. Oh my gosh.
So, Kellee, what's going on astrologically?
Okay, so let's talk about this week, and then on my Thursday show, I'll do a little more detail. But for right now, I want everybody to pay attention to from the 4th. Today's April 4th till we get till about the 7th, and it's what I've been talking about. This. Mars and Saturn conjunction. It makes things very intense and very serious. And so Mars is like giving your car full speed, gas. And Saturn is like giving it full brake power at the same time. So it's a very intense conjunction. And you want to.
Are they both in Aries, Kellee? Are they
actually? They're both in Capricorn at 28 degrees, and I'm talking about Vedic sidereal. Everybody at 28 degrees Capricorn, which makes it highly serious. So Capricorn rules power struggles and structures, I should say, and authority and karma. And it's a very intense time. Mars is war. Mars is energy. Mars is intense, and bullies, and it also rules the blood. So
and bones, right? Bones.
Saturn rules the bones. And so these two together, you want to watch your emotions. This is a week you don't want to be a hothead. You want to just slow it down, smell the roses, be grateful for your life, be grateful for all of these great things. And that's the kind of week you want to have.
Yeah, it's like I just experienced in the Target parking lot where I was just at the stop sign and it stopped, and the lady came up and she didn't stop at her stop sign. I kept on going until she stopped, and I stopped right before, and I went, "Hi, stop, stop."
My gosh, I know.
And she was just like, and there's a lot of that around. People are
There's so
just out of it. They're just out of it.
they're not going to be paying a lot of attention, so you want to be the one that pays attention, and you want to watch your moods. You don't want to be a hothead, because with that Mars energy, if you blow up, you could have a heart attack. So you really want to watch your energy. It's a
Hey,
really
Kelly,
important thing.
Mars rules blood.
Blood
Mars
and
rules blood.
blood. And anger. And so you
And
really,
battle.
it's just and battle. I mean, it's a real explosive week, and I'm going to say it like that. So and intense. So you want to watch your moods. That's all. There
So
you go.
don't repeat the Oscars, right?
Oh, and that was actually, right. That happened right before this, right? And it was that energy that was coming out, and it was. I have to just say this, and that's the only thing I'm going to say about that till later, probably another time. But when Denzel Washington said, it's the devil. When you get to a certain point, the devil gets to you. And I thought, no, it's trauma. Trauma is what gets to you.
It's interesting. That's
right.
Really...
I mean, if you don't deal with your trauma, and this month, everybody, there's so much time to deal with your trauma, because you'll probably get, I don't know, just kind of triggered by different events. And so guess what? If you get triggered, really stop, look at it, and then realize that you need to work on your traumas, because this is a perfect month for working on trauma. Perfect.
Today, Kelly, in Soul Care, a lady asked me, she might be here tonight, asked about developing mediumship. Should I first handle my traumatic stress syndrome before I do mediumship? Is it okay to do mediumship? And I said, no, it is not okay to do mediumship. You first got to deal with the stress, your traumatic stress. So you don't want to do readings based upon that filter of that trauma. Do not do that. First,
never
clear up yourself in your life.
You must, and I say this, when I was helping your class.
That's what you suffer, is what it is.
You have to, absolutely. You have to work on your own issues, your own traumas, or that, as you just said, that lens or that filter will come out, get triggered.
It's true, and you'll suffer.
Totally.
My computer glasses on. My computer glasses now.
Debbie Pace Raffero says there's a lot of arguing right now, James and Kelly. She's from New Jersey. There it is. There's a lot of trauma going around right now, a lot of arguing, and there was a big shooting in Sacramento. So we really
I heard about that. Goodness gracious. It's just like Wild Wild West. It's traumatic. It is traumatic. And there'll be more of it. There's gonna be more bad things, I just think.
Yeah, and that's why I want everybody cooler head. There you go.
Okay. So Kelly, what's the difference between a portal and a vortex?
Okay. I'm gonna tell you the difference.
Questions.
That's such a good question. I'm going to tell you the difference. Okay, so a portal is an opening or a gateway or a bridge to another world. And a vortex is a spiral or a pull of energy, sometimes attached to a location, or it's created by a geomagnetic force. What do you think? Pretty good?
I think that's pretty good, Kelly. I read the same.
Okay. Well, let's talk about vortexes
well, first of all, portals. I think people should understand portals and they're opening. So portals like a doorway, and there can be portals in mirrors and windows and doors, and in nature too. You got portals, so it's a doorway in or a doorway out, or an opening to other levels and realms. And I open portals all around my house. I have a portal, and I open that up, and I bring through energy, and then I close it down. That's how I balance some part of the things I do. Portals, like I said, and they can be in spaces that you don't expect them to be. They can be in locations in houses and buildings. All different experiences of portals. I remember I used to work with a lady by the name of Marianne Winkowski, and we did the Ghost Whisper together. And she was very much a specialist in earthbound. She's supposedly earthbound spirits, which I'm not so sure about earthbound spirits to a point. But she would often talk about creating, I've seen her do it, a portal for them to. She'd speak with the earthbound being, and things that she didn't know things about them, no doubt about it. And like this, one thing she said in a restaurant that was really fascinating because I'm really I go both ways in that I believe that there aren't really as many earthbound spirits as we might think, but at the same time, I think the mind traps us down here sometimes. In that, like we were sitting at a restaurant, Mary and I, and she said, as we're sitting here, there's a man sitting on the steps, there's a spirit sitting on the steps over there, waiting and not sure about going the other side. And now they don't know she can see them. And I said, well, can you talk to him? She goes, all right, hold on. She just looked over and she started talking to him. And she goes, well, he's really confused. And she goes, a lot of times you'll find them confused because it was really interesting, I thought, because again, emotionally, this man, I guess, was brought up religiously, right? And he lived a gay lifestyle and it was against his religion and was forcing him as a young kid to get older that if you do that lifestyle, you go to hell. And he thought that if he goes to that light, he's going to go right to hell. So he stayed back behind. So he didn't go.
Wow.
So she speaks to him telepathically and then creates, if you will, with her mind, a portal, an opening, a light, and sends them through it. And she's done this. She's worked with her guides, so forth, and they take them. I've seen them clairvoyantly, not a lot, but I've seen some of certain portals. It's really interesting. One of the portals I think is, which I like to talk about, is the Wizard of Oz.
Tell me about that.
Portal to a different world when there's a Twister Anti-M, and there's a tornado, and then she's flying around. It almost looks like you look at the roof and there's an opening. It's like a portal to a different world. She ends up being in a different world. It's a portal to a different world.
Yes.
Really. So think about it. And the vortex, which is concentrated energy, was that spiral, that spinning that took her to that portal. So vortex, as you said, is concentrated energy. And Sedona, Arizona, of course, a lot of people know about Sedona being vortexes and portals all around there. And over there in Sedona, they have, if you will, different places that you can experience different types of vortexes. Some they call a masculine vortex, some female. There's a Cathedral Rock. They have male and female. There's Bell Rock. There's Boynton Canyon, which I'll tell you I've experienced about that. There's Airport Mesa. And those are the strongest ones. And I've experienced all of them. Wow. And some people are more sensitive to one space than another. And I'm just talking about Sedona here. So I remember, and I've told you and everyone else here about the Sedona experience when I was the UFO experience. And we were in Boynton Canyon, which is kind of a balanced vortex of male-female energy. But to me, it's a calming energy. So it's okay. But the Airport Mesa was pretty intense to me.
What does it feel like?
Well, this is very interesting. So I fell into a portal. Okay, so there was a portal and a vortex. So in this interesting way is that you feel a certain way. For me, it's Airport Mesa. The vortex, what we'd say vortex, you feel certain energy. Some people feel tickling. Some people feel a movement. Some feel nothing. I was okay with Airport Mesa. I felt there was a charge, but I couldn't really tell. And I was with my friend Ron. We were going to do it right before our trip there. We wanted to search it out and see what was going on. And literally, we were climbing up the mountain there in Airport Mesa. And literally at the same time, we both took a step and there was no ground below us. And we walked right into a portal. And Ron turned to me and he said, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. I know, Ron. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What happened?
We entered a portal. We stepped through time. We stepped through that space. We stepped through a physical space. And we both stepped right through it. And that was it. We got into that portal to whatever level, realm, space that was. We definitely both experienced our physicalness stepping into a space that was not physical.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then do you step out of it or do you just, what happened?
Yeah, we took a next step and we were right back in the rock.
Oh my gosh.
It was like a step. It's like a step. So, and anyway, you can also create portals. A lot of people can create portals. They do portals with healing work and so forth. So yeah, I create you create portals. I create portals when I'm working, and also so in a vortex, we're portal. We're open. We're channelers. We're mediums.
Right.
We're portals. So
Right.
we are an opening to the higher levels, the higher realms. Same thing. So we call them channelers or mediums, if you will. But most people can be portals if you look at it that way. But a vortex is a concentrated energy, and remember that a vortex is concentrated energy. What's making up that energy? Well, it could be positive or negative. In that, good thoughts, bad thoughts.
Right.
So if someone says, "Oh, that house doesn't feel good," or that space doesn't feel good, or that building, or that it could be negative thoughts, bad thoughts, negative thoughts, I guess you could
Right.
say. And now when I worked with Mary Monkowski, she talked about people having curses. Do you believe in curses? I don't really believe in curses per se, but I do believe, she said she doesn't believe in negative energy. And I do too. I believe that there could be energy attached to someone or push them with a negative.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that because that'll bounce right back at you 10 times stronger or 20 times stronger. It can. So don't do that. So neutralize it with light, with love. That's how you neutralize it. So you cleanse everything with love. Even people in your life that you don't get along with well, I say pink light them, unconditional love. So.
Right, right. Well, you know what, James? I just want to mention this too. Eclipses. Did you know this? Eclipses are considered a portal. When there's an eclipse, because they help us accelerate into the next chapter of our life.
How interesting. Another step.
Another step.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Windows are a popular portal of angels and guides because windows are places where energy is magnified. Interesting. Anywhere where energy can concentrate and flow through both ways can become a portal. Waterfalls, geological divides, features in the earth, riverways, all these can be portals. Anything with a porous osmotic boundary can become a portal, such as source of organic materials, including the human body. Okay.
Right. Right. Okay, that's fascinating about portals. Also,
this is another interesting thing, Kelly, which I knew this because I used to work in I think I might tell this story a long time ago. I used to work in a hospital for about 4 years when I was doing my temporary gigs when I first moved to Los Angeles, trying to find work. And I worked in the human resources department, a temporary job. And I did so well at it, administration work, filing and so forth. And I got along with the people really well. They kept me on. They said, "Can you stay longer?" I kept it longer and longer. And then they put me in different departments because they really enjoyed me working. And this is before I knew anything mediumistically, but I used to go to the 6th floor. And the 6th floor was the brand new AIDS ward. It was in 86, maybe 85. And I remember seeing groups of people and beings, guys, I guess, going from one room to another. And they were like a team of beings and like looked like doctors, nurses, white coats. And they were really just spirit guides. And it would be this light. And I think it was a portal. And then I don't know how much longer the person would be passed on after that.
Wow. So a portal was created in a hospital then.
Correct. And that's where you find a lot of them in hospitals. You'll find a lot of them portals in hospitals. Exactly right.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, it makes sense because they help people cross over. So,
and as you pointed out, a medium can be a portal because we're dealing with the other side.
We're open.
Yeah.
We're vessels. We're open. Yeah, we're portals. We're channeling. We're opening.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure. So,
wow.
Yes.
I was reading about energy vortexes, how they have, as we talked about, the swirling center of energy, how it comes about. And what I found out, it's so interesting, is that it had a lot to do with ley lines. L-E-Y.
I was just going to say ley lines to you. I swear to God, I was going to say ley lines. It's concentrated energy.
Right. That's so interesting, right? A ley line. I mean, have you heard the term before? You knew the term.
Ley lines, of course.
Ley
yes,
lines.
of course I have.
Okay.
Throughout the planet, there are ley lines.
There's kind of like longitude, latitude, similar or something like that. Points of energy, but apparently, ley lines were. I mean, one of the theories is, who knows, but one of them is according to the Earth. Yes, Atlantis. I was going to say Atlantis. Lemuria, absolutely. Which I'm going to be doing a class on both of those, and but they also they were apparently they were used to guide alien spaceships. Did you hear about that?
Oh no, yeah. Oh, very much so. These have landing strips. Oh yeah, for sure. There were landing strips. Oh, definitely. Where was it? Santa Fe? Where was it? They were in the deserts. They were landing strips.
Yes.
And also, I find it very fascinating when you talk about Stonehenge, and there are different places from the
Mhm.
you're going back at certain images from the higher altitude. And I remember when I was 10 years old, 11 years old, 10 years old, I went to England with my grandmother, and we saw the Cern Giant. Now, what is the Cern Giant? It's in Wales, and the Cern Giant was like a caveman, and you really couldn't see it, not from you could see it from space. You could see a little bit from the hillside, but you really get it. And they showed it from the sky, and it would be a, an indicator of a person, a cave person, and that's what it looked like. And they were all over the planet, and of course, it's a higher intelligence. I mean, that's
Mm.
the other beings. Well, I just heard the term yesterday. There are aliens among us. I'm like, besides the book, Alien Among Us. Yeah, we're aliens among us. When I was sitting in my development circle, other beings, because when aliens, people think aliens, they label them. Higher level beings would come
Yeah.
to the circle, and they didn't look human at all. No human traits whatsoever. There was such benevolence. It's unbelievable. Humans are on the kind of the one lowest rungs in the ladder.
That's true.
We're still killing each other. We still kill each other. Like, what's that about? We're still killing each other. We don't realize you can never kill one another. It's not a good thing. You can't kill anyone. You just, because there's no death. You just end up having karma again.
I know. This planet has so much sadness with that.
Yeah.
Gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, some of the energy vortexes, number one is Glastonbury, England. Did you know that? In Glastonbury, and that was this tied to King Arthur. You know how people talk about King Arthur and the Round Table?
You bet.
Fascinating.
All the esoterics. Yeah, exactly right. It's all esoteric. And
Have you been there? I've never been there.
I have not been there. What's the garden over there too? Findhorn Garden. Supposedly is also one of the a portal, and vortex place as well. Yeah, no, I haven't been there. No, I have not.
I haven't either.
And Stonehenge, of course, is a landing space.
Yep, Stonehenge. That's a huge one. And apparently Stonehenge, James, has 14 ley lines.
Wow.
That would be a lot, right? It seems like a lot. And one I thought was really fascinating, and I think this is so fascinating. One is in Tulum, Mexico. Tulum.
So weird.
It's so bizarre because it says the ruins of the Mayan city of Tulum were apparently apparently, according to scientists, an asteroid hit that part of the earth and wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. And that was at present day Tulum.
And I've been to Tulum.
You have? Well, now they say that's a big spiritual place. I've never been there either.
A friend of mine just mentioned to me last week she bought a house there. She bought a place there. And it was the most brilliant stars I've ever seen in one place. That was before there was any lighting, but it was from houses and so forth. But it was incredible. The lights, the stars were amazing. And you felt a certain energy there. Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Well, and another one is Mount Shasta. And I've been to Mount Shasta. That's a big one. A lot of healing that goes on there.
So this weekend, I had a long conversation with a friend of mine and yours now, and we were talking about Mount Shasta being a vortex of energy and a portal. Mm-hmm. And I said, I know about that. I've seen what we call ships, whatever, enter the mountain. And she goes, well, there are talks about that, the tunnels, Mount Shasta, and the tunnels go directly to the middle of Brazil.
Wow. Is that why it's such a place for crystals? Yes.
Crystal mines.
Wow.
And I've been to Cristalina in the center of Brazil, near Brasilia, and it's a whole village of crystals. And the crystals I have, which I have some behind me, it's bought at Tucson Gem Show, are from that area. And they said there's tunnels that go directly from, and with the ley lines, I'm sure there's some connection there as well between Brazil, central Brazil, and also Mount Shasta. And I'm sure it's all over this planet, you know.
That's fascinating.
That's
really fascinating. Now let's talk about the Great Pyramid of Giza. The pyramids. That's also a huge vortex there.
And also a huge landing pad.
Huge landing pad. And I would think it's a big portal too.
It's a big portal. You
can have both.
You can have both. You don't. Yeah, they're not exclusive. You can have them both the same place. Of course, you can.
Wow.
Remember, it's flowing energy. It's energy. So it's a space of energy, and it's concentrated energy. It's that's open or closed. A couple of things I read thought was very interesting. It's possible to clear a portal in your home or even redirect the energy for good. crystal grids create wonderful portals and vortex as well, because of the energy from the crystals. You do that, plus you have the intention behind it. It can amplify it. And Reiki is the same thing. Reiki, you're open as a portal using the energy, and the more you concentrate that energy, because of vortex of energy. We hold like this little ball of energy because of vortex of energy. Here we go. You can look at geological lines, hidden springs, or local features to find out where high energy flows are around a home before buying it, so you can work with them. Now, me and my house, you've been here in my house, and I obviously did it without even checking, but I just intuitively knew where to plant certain things, knew where certain water was in certain places, and it was all because I felt it, and it was indeed different places there. I had little portals here, there, and I created vortexes of energy in certain spaces, not all, and some already existed. Right. And I think with certain flowers and plants, you can increase, of course, that energy, the positive energy, and create these vortexes, if you will.
Well, because you're a natural dowser. You're a dowser, and so as a dowser, you'd be feeling the energy.
Let me read this, Kellee.
Please.
Spirits can enter in high energy areas while they may be plentiful at first, can be crossed over, managed to. We talked about that. Many things can draw the spirits in for many reasons. Think of a portal more than an energy spring. They can be positive or negative, created through magnetic forces, geological, even by human centers of energy. They can also go dormant and later become activated due to a variety of reasons. So when I moved to my house, there were a lot of places here that were totally, the portals were shut down, horrible weeds and it was rocks, and I opened them up. I created like a park in my garden, like a park.
Incredible.
And that's a major portal right there. Wow. And that's why people say, "What, your plants and flowers do really, really well." Well, I opened up these channels, and this area where I live in Encinitas, and this part of San Diego is just like South Laguna. I used to live in South Laguna. This is wild. It's built in beds of quartz crystal. And all mines, like in the late 1800s, and people know about California, the gold mines. There are a lot of mines here, a lot of mines in San Diego. Yeah. And so this is built upon quartz crystal where I live. Portals can be strengthened over time to collect human thoughts, making it so in some spaces. It is easier to reach or access certain entities than others. If you have a portal near you, you can actively open and close yourself to it using essential oils, energy clearing rituals. The flow of this energy through a portal may ultimately be strengthened through continued prayer, meditation, and effort to cycle the type of energy through the space. So that's what I do every day when I say I work with the energy of my space. I walk around the property and I'm just bringing the energy. I'm running the energy, cleaning the energy, because we have to realize that people who think, that's thoughts are things, thought is energy, and it's real. It's we don't see it in the three-dimensional with the human, but it's there. And if you're attuned to that and you feel, you sense energy. So people's energy is all over the place. So especially in a neighborhood or a business. So I just clear the space and I have my own energy and build up my own energy space around here. And sometimes, this is very funny, we're just talking about this today and also this weekend, when people come to my space here, they either love it or they get repelled.
That's true. That's true. They can't handle it. I've known two people that couldn't handle it. Yeah.
I mean, Shirley came in as soon as
Shirley flipped. She loved it. Oh, it's so great. It's the greatest. Here's a good question.
And there was another lady who came, Kellee, and she literally left. And just like they show the Monsters, left her shoes.
I was thinking of that one.
Gone.
That was a housekeeper, wasn't it? She came in and
she was trying to be, she was auditioning or whatever you want to call it. But
that was one of the funniest stories I ever heard. She forgot her shoes.
Like the Monsters, yeah.
Oh my God. So Patricia Cosgrove says, what about Joshua Tree? And that has powerful energy. I agree, 100%. Joshua Tree has some
very much so.
Special energy.
It's also a landing strip. It's a landing strip.
Yes.
And also when we say strips or beings or craft, let's just say it's not necessarily human, I mean physical as we know it, but craft, I've seen them going into mountains. I've seen them Shasta and Joshua Tree. They got a lot of iron, or they like iron ore. They seem ore is very rich, that mineral. So
interesting. Karina Angela says, what about Peru? So many ley lines in Peru. Now you were in Peru.
I was in Peru and we went to Costa. We went to it was summer solstice, Machu Picchu, and it was just magical. Being a shaman. I told the story last time. right?
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, we were on top of Mount Machu Picchu, and sun was rising up, and there were thousands of people in the city, but only we were on top of that mountain at that particular time. And we took photographs, and people had flowers all around them. Everybody saw them. And this couple that went with us, they had, oh, I'm gonna cry, green light from one heart chakra to the other.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah. So
What? That's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, they're very true there. And by the way, the lady that ran out of my house was from Peru. So that's why I thought she'd be great with the energy. But she
oh, well. Next.
Yes, it was Christian there.
Probably. So Nina Smith.
She let me know that right away.
I've had that situation.
I work with Christ consciousness all the time. It's okay.
Nina Smith says, if you meditate in the same room, can you create a vortex?
Definitely. You certainly can. You build up the energy there. You certainly can. That's what you do. When we sit in the development circle, and we're used to, we'd sit in the same space every week, same chairs.
Yes.
And really in physical mediumship, and we sit in Brazil, they would sit in this house, small house, but it was reserved just for physical mediumship. And you build up the energy. You build the energy every time you sit, it just builds it up. And you don't use that room for any other thing but sitting in that power and building up that energy. So yes, you can do that.
Absolutely. Renee Hansel has a great question. She says, I wonder what happened with the Bermuda Triangle, that it seems to have gone dormant as a portal and a vortex. You don't hear about disappearances from it anymore. So true. Did you know anything about the Bermuda Triangle and that portal? That would have been a portal.
No, I didn't know, because I did know at one point. It was off Florida, wasn't it? And it was kind of mid-Atlantic, in that Atlantic area.
Yeah.
I when I first heard about that, I knew something about it. I just felt a connection there somehow. I don't know how, why, but I did feel a connection. I was so fascinated with the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah. And you haven't heard anything about it in years and years and years. Probably because there are other spaces and places that they're working around. I mean, there's no such thing as a physical. It's just an illusion. So God only knows what's inside the earth around us and all that.
So wait, Nancy Connolly says, I don't quite understand the definition of a portal. Can you mention that again, basically? The definition of a portal.
Sure, I can. Kelly, I can do that.
I can't. Or if you want, do you want to go ahead?
Well, okay. Well, I'm going to do the difference between a vortex and a portal. A portal is an opening or a gateway, like Kelly said, a bridge to another world, and that's really what it is. It's an opening. So, an opening to another a space. So it could be through windows, through mirrors, through water. It's just like a doorway. It's an opening, if you will, of energy. Kelly, what do you think?
It's an opening that's it's often for spirits to come and to go, and it's created again as a medium. As we were saying, as mediums, this is how we start to connect to the other side. We create a portal.
The most common human-made portals include entry points such as mirrors, doorways, windows, anywhere energy can concentrate in a tunnel-like shape. Those in spirit often enter our houses through doors, especially if we live near a busy street or through a window. But it's really where anywhere the energy can concentrate and flow through both ways, it became a portal. So when sometimes people take pictures of mediums, you'll often see a shape, like a portal shape around them. Very much so. So we're all portal. Yeah, we're portals, most mediums.
So Christian Schammel says, James, have you ever been to the Mission in San Diego? There's so much interesting spiritual energy going on there, and the gift shop ladies have all sorts of experiences.
I have not, but I would like to see it. I will go there. Thank you. I will go there. And the Whaley House in San Diego too. Supposedly, when I had my TV show Beyond, we sent the crew down to the Whaley House in San Diego, and there was a whole bunch of manifestations of things there. I'd like to experience that because there was a court next door. He's a judge in a court, and people died in jail, and this whole thing with the Whaley House. So I'll check it out. Thank you for mentioning that.
Okay, Ardelia. Hi, Ardelia. She says, do you know of any vortexes in Australia? Yeah, isn't the big one?
Yeah, and the Rock, Ayers Rock. Definitely Ayers Rock. They're all over Australia, actually. Up in Brisbane, there's some. Down in Melbourne, there's some. Sure, and in the middle of the bush, there are plenty. The Aborigines, of course, work with them all the time down there. So they're all around.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's so interesting. Like when you think of not a portal, as a vortex. I always go back to that. Charles Schultz, the Charlie Brown character, Pigpen. Remember that?
Of course.
Smoke.
Perfect example.
That's really what we create with our thoughts, and think if we concentrate and we control, and when let's say we want to speak to someone in the spirit world, and it blocks that, and that smoke gets in the way, and spirit can't come through because we're so concentrated. So if you release that and open that space up, you create the portal for them to come in. Because it's not only the energy of the medium that's being used, it's the medium of you, the sitter, the recipient, that loving force. And they're coming because of love for you, the recipient. So they're using that love, and the medium picks up on it, but also the recipient will feel that love. They become a portal as well. So even when this is interesting, even when anyone goes and gets a reading for someone, the first thing you should do in person, I'm talking about, is check out the space that they do the reading.
For sure.
How does it feel to you? Like, I never ever go to a bookstore. Well, I used to go to metaphysical bookstores when they existed, but or just a shop like with psychics or gypsies, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes I'll just go and see what does it feel like, and it's sometimes some really weird, funky energy.
Yeah,
sometimes it's okay energy. It's interesting. I find it fascinating. For me, it's just discovery, if you will.
I do the same thing, James. Well, I used to do the same things. This is a good question. Kim Ann Snodgrass says, do you think Amelia Earhart accidentally flew into a vortex?
That's a great question. I'd like to say yes.
Probably. Well, here's another one along the same lines. Chancey Rennie says, do you think the missing Malaysia flight went into a portal?
I thought about that 2 weeks ago because I was watching on YouTube the Malaysian flight, and I don't know. It could be. I don't. They never found anything of that, did they?
No, they never did. So James, Eileen Courier says, how do you know if there is a portal in your house?
Well, to me, what happens is, so again, you can sense it, if you will. So if you want to say it's a sense of a change in energy, a subtle energy shift, if you will. There might be a concentrated energy you might feel when you walk by a window, or you walk by a certain corner in there, or someplace in the room. Feel the energy shifting, changes. There's a cold.
It might be a cold, exactly.
Cold feeling might be to just change the energy, very subtle. Might be constant in a corner, might be near a window. They're in different places many times. I find that it's much easier to have them, or will have them, when, like we said earlier, sitting and working with positive energy and positive space. You create that portal of energy.
Yeah, you definitely do. I know in my office here, this is a portal. So I'm really mindful of, if anybody were to come, they'd have to, I wouldn't want them actually sitting in my chair here, because I've really created a special space for it. For the work I do.
Yeah. And I also, I find that when that whole thing of when you go to a restaurant, you sit, never have your back facing the door. Never. I've never done that.
Never.
I always face the door, because I never know who's going to come in and what the energy is. And every time I go out to a space, it used to be a restaurant where I go to a store too. It's really weird. I naturally automatically do it now without even realizing I'm doing it. Like when I worked at Target today, I felt the energy of the store right away. And I felt, can't go to the left down here. It's too crazy. I don't want to. I just know, not that I saw people. I just knew it was too concentrated. I do it with parking lots too, parking spaces. I just do it.
Okay, so you didn't know this, but when I was in Texas, I went to Target. I actually went to Target, and I thought about you when I went to Target, and I started to go down one area, and I swear to God, I said, nah. And then my daughter said, but Mom, I thought you were going to be over there. I said, I didn't like the energy. I literally said that. But I like the energy of the rest of it. I just didn't like this one area. It bothered
me. Weird, Kelly. And I went down there. I went to the electronics section, and I felt like I was being taken down this aisle, and went right to this person, this guy. The guy by the cash register said to the client, the person, the buyer, "Thank you, sir." And then he looked at me, "Are you ready?" I said, "Yes. Can you help me?" And he helped me like within seconds. I mean, he took care of me. And I said, "Is there a restroom? While you do what you have to do?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay." And he goes, "Right next to the Starbucks up front." And I said, "Would you like a Starbucks?" And he goes, "No, I just have it. Thanks for asking." So I went up there and used the restroom at a Starbucks, and I came back, and he was all done. And it was the easiest transaction I've had forever. And it was just taken there. It was just like,
which is so, isn't that the best?
Isn't it you feel you want to go to? And no reason to get the hard energy. It's like, when you sometimes you go to a store in an aisle, someone's coming with a cart, and you stop and let them get by. Or that happened to me today. I said, I was just walking, lady came to the cart, and I said, "Stop." I stopped, and she went by, whatever. And I said, or the opposite. And I said, "Thank you very much. I appreciate that." It's so funny. And the people like, people are still getting not used to like being back with among people because I said, thanks very much. She was like,
Right. Oh my God.
We have
That's
to do
funny.
more of that. We got to thank each other. We got to send love no matter where we can.
Oh my gosh. And so, James, we need to talk about your new website. You have
Yes,
some very
yes, Kelly. Yeah,
exciting.
thanks for bringing it up. Really, really excited. Today's the first day. We launched this website, which I'm working on for over 2 years now. And it's state-of-the-art website, vanprog.com, brand new. And you'll see the photographs, were over 1,000 different photographs taken for this website. And many of them are enchanted photos. Many of them have spirits in them, have orbs in them, have lights in them, and pretty weird stuff. There were some taken on the beach, a lot of taken in my gardens. So up here in the gardens. And there's all different ways of, you no longer need to go to YouTube or to see us. You just go on my website and you can get YouTube and Facebook right there. You don't have to go to a separate website. So everything is inclusive. And all the events are there. We have right now 3 of them, more coming up because I'm going to be working a lot, doing a lot of readings and so forth. So please go to vanprog.com and get a free gift and make sure you're registered for the readings that are coming up. But I hope you enjoy it. It's a great site.
It's beautiful, everybody. I've seen it. It's beautiful. Go check it out.
Yes.
It's really special, James. You guys worked hard on that one.
We worked hard on that one. Yeah. There it is, vanprog.com. Thank you very much. Yes. So much about time and portals. And you got to realize that, of course, there is no time. And really, in this linear world, we measure time for, I guess we have to measure time for this 3-dimensional world, but there is no time and space and time. It really doesn't exist. So when you talk about vortexes and portals, there's no time about it. It's just energy. I would just don't get caught up with that as much as say talk about energy. That's more important, I would say. And Margaret, hi, Ann Margaret. Is this different from the James School Mystical Arts? Yes, it is. So you can go to vanprog.com is my regular website. You can get to the school from there, but the school site is coming out in 2 weeks. The school site is much more complex because we have a whole community of people there. So that's a little bit more taxing and work, and you're going to be freaked out when you see the new school. It's pretty cool. But the basic vanprog.com is the information site, and you'll love it. A lot of information on there. And all my blogs, all the blogs I've ever written are there. All the shows are there. My Beyond show is on there. So, you like the new photographs and the gardens, and it's cool. It's cool.
This is so great, James. Oh my gosh.
I'm very happy to announce that I'm pregnant.
What? Oh, he is.
I'm pregnant. I asked my dog Maisie to send me, if I was supposed to get another doggie, she would have to send me a dog. I'm not going to go look for a dog. She'd have to send me a dog. So a friend of mine my best friends came down to visit a week ago, and brought his new dog, Rosie, down. She's a shepherd. She's a Australian shepherd. And she she loved me. We just got along perfectly, and we just hung out and we played. And my friend Chip was like, "What's going on?" And he'd never seen anything like it. He goes, "She's never done this before. I don't understand this." And to make a long story short, I was going to take this dog because there was a connection. She slept with me in the bed. She wouldn't go near Chip. But it was like, so he took her, and I said, "Wow, that's really weird. That why would that dog come so close to me?" Well, only to find out, I spoke to Chip on Friday, and he said to me that he wanted to thank me for changing his life. And I said, "Why did I change your life?" And he said, "Well, I saw the relationship between you and Rosie, and the connection with you and that dog, and I realized I got to change my future. I got to change my work, and she's my priority now." And I said, "Exactly right."
What a great shift for him.
It's a shift. And I said, "And you know what, Chip? This is birthday week too, by the way, 14th of March, right?"
Really?
So, yeah, 3 of my friends, 14th of March.
Okay. Wow.
Very interesting. Yeah. So really interesting because it was a birthday present for him and for me, because I was like, "Maisie, why would you send Rosie?" And so then when I called the breeder on Friday, and she said, "I really loved Rosie." And she goes, "Well, it just so happens, James, that week that Chip was visiting you, Rosie's mother had another litter, and there's only one of the same white doggies like Rosie." And I said, "Well, that's mine." So her name is Pearl. I named her Pearl. That came to me. And Pearl means wisdom, I guess, people told me. And she'll be coming home May 16th. I'm going to go get her in Northern California.
So exciting.
And then I'm going to get another one. I'm going to get a companion later on. It was a spaniel. So, and that one's going to be named Minnie. So those remember Minnie Pearl.
Minnie Pearl.
With the hat with the label.
This is so great. So Paul Katz says, hey, James, last week you mentioned there might be an upcoming retreat style thing you host in or near San Diego. Do you know the idea is when it might be announced, or did I mishear? No, you heard that correct, Paul.
Correctly. I just came from a space I was looking at to have it in. And I'm still looking for venues because, I want to make sure it's easy, accessible for people who are coming here. And they're going to be different types of workshops. I'm doing a grief retreat weekend, and that'll be just very limited to like 12 people. And that'll be a retreat weekend. There'll be more concentrated works. There'll be so you'll hear about it. Register the website. Put your email on the website. You'll hear about it. So I'm still setting all up and looking at venues. But thanks, Paul.
Okay. And congratulations on the new babies. This is so exciting. I can't wait.
And then I should tell everybody, I mentioned to Kellee that I'm going to cry. The older I get, it's like, is I'm becoming older? But no, it's all validation when I get emotional. I was going out the other night to be a friend of mine, and I was shaving. And right after the whole thing about Pearl, and Maisie came to me so clearly, and she jumped on the counter of my shaving and my face, just kissing me. And it felt, she was so thrilled and happy beyond words. And I know that she made it happen. I know she made it happen. Of course she would. They tend to do that. The animals will tend to be with their humans until the humans are okay, and then the animals can move on. Kitties, dogs, yeah. So.
Wow, she's taking good care of you.
I think there has been talk about getting a potbelly pig and a pony too.
When we moved to the farm, we had all that talk.
There you go.
Yeah, I had all that talk on it.
I don't want to clean up any more poop. I've done that my whole life. I don't want to clean up.
That's what Don asked me. He said, "Oh, how are you going to take care of that?" I kind of looked at him like, "I don't understand the question. Aren't you going to take care of it?" The answer was no. Oh well. Well, everybody, we have to make a short night of it tonight because James has a very special
a relative of mine. So
he does.
Yes. So
thank
you, everybody.
Join me on Thursday, everybody. I'll talk more astrology for April.
Oh yeah. Please. Thanks, Kellee.
Thanks, James.
Thanks,
Love
everybody.
you. Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
Renee. Bye, everyone.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean, left.